And absolute pleasure, absolute honor and joy to have you here with us, Summaya. It is for so many reasons, but majority of the cases, because we work together for a very long time, and I observe your growth, and I'm overjoyed to see you going where you're going with this personal growth. But for all of you who don't know us, my name is Aisha, CEO of AJS Therapy, as well as an author of the book, which is just behind me, Islamically Inspired Self-Development. And for those of you who don't know Summaya Ayoub yet, she's this amazing emerging counselor slash coach slash parenting coach. So she's having many hats. She's also very, very busy. But today is about her journey of becoming a healer, isn't it, Summaya? Is that what we're doing here today?
Yeah, Assalamu alaikum. It's lovely to be here. It's an exciting step to take. And yeah, it's kind of about my journey into counselling, healing, parent coaching. It's kind of all overlapping at the moment.
Yes, it is. How does it feel?
How does it feel? It feels amazing because
Right.
doing things that I never thought I'd do. Equally, it's very overwhelming, but I think that's just the stage of life that I'm in.
Thinking about stages, isn't it? Before you got where you are today, there've probably been quite a few stages, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Probably some of them more and some of them less conscious. And I'm speaking generally because that's what happens to us healers, isn't it? But when was that first time when you became conscious? When was that first time when you said to yourself, I'm not doing what I'm supposed to do here. I'm not living my life purpose.
I think along the way, I probably had many of those moments, but I wasn't conscious of them.
Okay.
However, I do remember a distinct point where I was having therapy a few years ago, and I remember saying, I don't know why I'm here.
Right.
I have everything, you know, I had a family, children, house, education, a car, and I remember thinking that there's some discomfort, there's something that just doesn't feel right. And I don't think at that time I specifically knew that I was seeking greater meaning. I didn't know it then. I definitely know now that that was, you know, my soul speaking to me, calling out, saying that there's more to life than the rat race.
That sounds like a spiritual awakening. How did you overcome or maybe upgrade it to, you know, finding yourself in a healing learning environment? Where is that gap between I'm conscious to I am consciously trying to be a healer for you, like?
What do you mean? When did the transition happen?
Yeah, like I hear from you, you know, those existential questions, they're important, and for some people that's all it is. You know, I'm connecting with God, I'm trying to, whatever I'm doing, I'm trying to connect it with ibadah, and they're happy with that. But that isn't the case for healers, isn't it? It's not enough.
No, I think deep in my soul forever, really, I think there's an aspect of desire to grow in me. It was always there. I squelched it for a long time, and certain things happened in my life that propelled me in a way. Certain experiences, which I suppose I could say experiences that I used to propel me into growing. Everyone has challenges, and I think the difference is whether we use them for our benefit or we kind of, you know, despair in them. We make a choice, don't we?
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Absolutely. You know, when you say it that way, what comes to my mind is that profound realization that came to me on my journey of becoming a healer, that realization that all your vertical experiences in this life, you know, those people that we meet, those experiences of rejection, disappointment, hurt, any type of pain, they were for me to work on, but also for me to somehow remember, so I can connect with another person and give them respite, give them relief in the future. I've got no idea where this inspiration came to me from. All I know right now that it was one of those firashas, those inspirations from divine sources. Probably it came through angel. So that's what I hear from you. Does it make sense?
Oh yeah, definitely. I think like I obviously I know it now. I probably didn't even know it 2 or 3 years ago. I've always felt like that. I felt like certain things happened in my life and I felt like I could connect to people. People would talk to me about certain things. They would open up to me, but little did I know that this was the path that I would end up taking. Now it all makes perfect sense in a way, because all those experiences, all those strange things that didn't make sense to me, they've all got a purpose now, because, you know, all of that pain will be used in a positive way, hopefully.
Yeah, in a very progressive way as well, isn't it? So, you know, what we're discussing here really is a journey of that's the term here, a journey of wounded healer.
Mm-hmm. That's a nice term.
Yeah, but I never really agreed with that term. I tell you why, because I remember when I first went into my healing learning environments, and I've been in quite a few. I never felt completely healed, and I never knew what was coming, and what was coming was a calling. The moment I stepped in that learning environment, and for me, it was my college of homeopathy. I just knew this is my home.
Oh God, yeah.
Did you experience the same thing?
Well, so I was kind of journaling earlier about some of the things we discussed before, and that's exactly what I journaled. That there was a period, I mean, I've studied lots of things, but when I went into counselling, it was quite and it was a big step for me to take. I don't know any counsellors in my community or my family, not personal to me anyway. So I did the level 2, I did the level 3, and I invested a lot of time and energy. When I got to level 4, I found myself worried that perhaps I can't do this, because I found it so incredibly challenging personally, because I think it's difficult to separate personal and professional when you're becoming a counsellor. It kind of all becomes a big blur. Anyway, fast forward, I had that period of doubt, and then I did have that moment of, I felt like, now I feel like I'm at home. I had that, you know, that light bulb moment where I had a really good skills practice post months and months of doubting whether I should be here or not, and then really feeling like I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be.
Yeah, it's beautiful the way you describe it. I just love your choice of words. They are very poetic. They just take people on the journey. Well, at least it takes me on the journey, Summaya. Thank you for that. But it's not also easy. It's not also beautiful. There are moments when, at least there were those moments for me when I was like, if that is healing, if that is self-awareness, if that's consciousness, I don't want it. I want to go back home. The problem is, the moment you start growing, you're losing home. There's no home to go back to, isn't it? And that is scary. So what I'm trying to say, that this wounded healer journey, this wounded healing profession, is full of new challenges, but also newfound pains in us. Or is it just me, Summaya?
No, it's so true that I think now I'm ready to talk about it, but before this I couldn't, because it was too painful. Yeah. And the journey is, although you're growing and although you're becoming everything you've ever wanted to be. Along the way, there's so much grief, there's so much pain, there's so many losses, and you're not prepared for it. You set out on it and you're not prepared for it, and like you just said, new pains will rise up. You will learn what was hurting in you a long time ago, what's hurting in you now. You will learn so much about yourself that for years you didn't know was there.
Yeah. And it can be quite revealing, it can be quite vulnerable, and it can be quite scary, isn't it? Now, not only for us, but also for our environment, because, you know, this is that beauty of Quran. You can't escape from it. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will not change your position on you until you change yourself. So think about it in the reverse way with me here. You've changed yourself, so your situation, your environment also will need to change. They need to adjust to you. And the most painful thing is they have right to say no to your journey into becoming.
I think as you were speaking just a minute ago, I wanted to interject and say exactly that along the healing journey, you know, there's your relationships are challenged. You will be challenged, and there were those moments where I felt like, if this is healing, I can't do it.
No, it's like I'm out.
Because every relationship at some point was being tested, and like you said, if you're changing, the people around you need to be acceptant of that change, but however, they don't have to be, and there may be losses. And that's something you kind of have to make your peace with along the way. Yeah,
I remember in my group, when I was a student, for some weird reason, I'm not saying all of us, but majority of us, we were going through some really serious stuff in our personal lives, and we're talking about divorces, about separations. And in some of the cases, the children were involved as well. But all of us, we somehow stick to routine of learning, of the journey of becoming a healer. We still came back for yet another and another lesson, and yet we all knew within ourselves that there's no turning back, although we had no idea where we were going. Does it make sense, Summaya?
God, so much. I think that when you have a thirst to learn, you can't dampen it. You know, I from what I'm learning as a counsellor, and otherwise, even in my Islamic Therapeutics course with yourself, that once everybody has the capacity to learn, we all have, and some of us have it really strong, and it can't be squelched. You can squelch it, you can try and squash it for years and years and years, but in the end, it will win. It will win because there's something inside of you that yearns for something more.
Is that what you think keeps you motivated to learn more and more? Because to my account, you are doing, you're just about to be qualified as a counselor and psychotherapist. You also completed coaching parenting course, and you are my ambassador, which is Islamic counseling and coaching course, right? And personal growth tools. That's all you've got under your belt. Is there anything else I missed out?
I'm a teacher as well.
Yeah, sorry, you're also a teacher. So you know, what is it about this quench for knowledge? Why are you can't stop? Why are you continuously adding something to your repertoire?
Because I mean, I've been thinking about this for the past few days. I mean, we all have financial situations and we all have reasons and needs to earn more. But if I'm quite honest, my personal choices have become about self-growth. Of course, everybody needs money, we live on money, but the growth aspect is much stronger for me. And I think that I love unearthing layers of myself, and I love meeting the potential that I always knew was there. And I want to keep meeting her, whoever she is. And that is what keeps me going, because everything I learn, it's enhancing me as a human being, and I get to be the best version, or I try to be a better, best version of myself. And I see the impact that has as a teacher, as a coach, as a parent, as a member of my family, as a friend. So yeah, I think I love meeting all these new layers of myself.
But then there is that point, isn't it, Summaya, when you know so much about yourself. You read about yourself in so many books. Yeah, I can talk from my own experience, and there's, you know, and there's a flow as well full of them. When you just become bored, I can't find, for the sake of it, I can't find any better word. You're just becoming bored with yourself, and from intaking that knowledge, enhancing yourself, you're turning into another realm, and the realm is how much of all of this I can give away to my clients.
Yes, absolutely. Well, obviously, in the end, everything you learn and become, there's no meaning or purpose to it unless you've got somewhere to give it back. And that's the healing. That's the greatest healing, isn't it?
I love that you're saying it, because it is, because you know, if you haven't done this, and if you're listening to us, you might think that, oh yeah, I'm coming for healing, and you know, I'm going to get from this experience so many tools, so many insights, and inshallah you will. But what you don't realize, the secret of healing is that we're getting as much from this as well, that the healing is both ways street.
Yeah,
and I think go on, sorry.
I obviously I'm not a certified counsellor yet. I've got some time left in my studies, but as a parent coach, I can absolutely tell you that the people I work with, when I see them grow, when I see them changing their relationships with their children, that makes me feel whole inside. That's the stuff, you know, when I get a discovery call and somebody calls me. I mean, the other day I had a discovery call with a lady, and all the things that she told me, I was like, jackpot, 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 we're going to work with this. And it excites me that, you know, we can do something about the issues somebody's facing.
Yeah, I love your face expression, because I think that's what I do as well. And I've learned to apologize to my clients as well. So, look, I'm sorry. I know you're telling me your love story. I see you very vulnerable. You've just cried 5 minutes ago. And I'm sorry that I'm smiling. I'm only smiling because I know how to help you. And this is how I'm going to help you. And it's exciting for me because I see you at the end. And I think that that is very weird. It is very weird, isn't it? Because if you retract, you know, we've been through that journey, through that hopelessness and helplessness. When you don't see the tunnel, you don't see the light in the tunnel, to becoming that person. Yeah, I can hear your pain. Let's sort it out. It's all right. Yeah. It's very close to being desensitized, or is it not? What do you reckon? Do you think we are talking about being desensitized, empathy fatigue? That is the term right now, or is it about something else?
I think that I don't know if you can become desensitized completely yet. I'm not that far gone in the journey. I think it's purely knowing that, because when you've been in a state of despair and helplessness, and you know you can be that person to help somebody, it is exciting.
It is. You can't hide it, isn't it?
Can't help it.
No, you can't. And I often think about this phenomena as in this hadith from the Prophet, explaining to us that a believer is a mirror to another believer. And majority of us, we've got no idea how deep that hadith is, because it goes like this: if you see something wrong in your brother or sisters, you are to reflect, you are to correct them for khair. Now, what I teach, what I taught you in my Islamically Inspired Therapeutics course, is that it is the exact expression of us as a healers. We are not there to judge them. We are not there to make opinions about them, but we are there to see their potential, meaning that light in the tunnel, and have a tools, have a ways to get there with them, for them. And khair is not for dunya, not only for your relationships issues, because majority of the cases, that's what clients bringing to us in terms of pains, but we're doing it from the perspective of how are you going to go back to those relationships so you will please your Lord. So we're talking about not horizontal, but vertical mindset, isn't it? So there's a lot of job being going on here as a mirror of you being a mirror to another person, a lot of thinking and a lot of working on yourself, but also a lot of knowledge. Spiritual knowledge, I would say, a healing knowledge is more than psychology, isn't it? Because you need to be a clear page, a clear slate. You need to know your stuff. You need to know yourself before you go back and you reflect, because there's no mistakes. There's no place for mistakes. There's no time and there's no place for I don't know. Yeah. It's very deep, this hadith. Have I made you scared, or does it make sense?
No, I was reflecting on, you know, that as a healer, it's your job to see the potential. And in my previous life, seeing potential really wasn't helpful. But in this scenario, absolutely, to help your clients to see their potential, to see who they can be. And like you say, you've got to have met your own demons.
Yeah. Before
you can sit in front of somebody, because if you don't, it can get messy for you very, very quickly. And I think that it's important to appreciate that people who are becoming counsellors or healers or parent coaches, as myself, we have been through a very painful process ourselves in order to be able to sit with you.
Yeah. You've touched on a quite important point, isn't it? Having respect to yourself, having respect to your journey as a healer, but also knowing your place.
Yeah.
Because it's not sister to sister relationship, isn't it? It's a contractual. It's a really clear business relationship we're getting into. And that's what counseling and psychotherapy and psychology, maybe even coaching, would set to us. This is a very clear boundary here. Don't forget yourself. But I teach those stuff from healing perspective, don't I?
Oh yeah.
So what do you think from this paradigm, you know, your relationship, your therapeutic alliance with clients, what have you learned different, that is different to what you already learned from your coaching and your counseling in different planning places, in your colleges? What is it that you've got that is different in Islamically Inspired Therapeutics?
The spiritual aspect. And when I say the spiritual aspect, I mean there's so many layers to it. So there's the psychosomatic, so understanding the psychology, understanding your body. And then the spirituality, or the spiritual level, is to understand your role as a Khalil or a helper, is that you're answerable to God.
Yeah.
And that's the greatest responsibility, because, you know, in the long term, I intend to practice for myself, but it doesn't end there, because I answer to God. And that's why this work, it can't be taken lightly. And the journey of your own growth, it's so incredibly personal if you believe one day you're going to answer to God.
Yeah.
And people will bring all sorts of things to you. In that sense, you know, it's a great responsibility.
It is. It's about amana, isn't it? Amana, how you conduct yourself, and whether you are a hypocrite or not, whether you're monolithic or not, you know, in this counseling chair or coaching chair of yours.
Yeah.
Are you preaching? Are you practicing what you're preaching? Because you know what? Your client will feel it. Your client will sense it. Something sometimes doesn't go right. They don't get to healing from whatever techniques or remedies you're using. And sometimes the fault is in you, and the deepest or the worst, you know, you can commit to in terms of wrong in you is wrong intention. You're not working from ihsan. What I say to my clients who are not committed to their growth, and you will see them if you haven't seen them yet, I say to them, look, it's very serious. I treat my job very seriously. I will meet you on the day of judgment. I need to tell you what I see. I need to reflect to you. Because what is it that I'm going to say to you on the day of judgment? I wanted to say it to you right now. And that changes everything. That shifts everything in the room. How does paradigm changed everything for you, you know, as my student?
I think that's a really, really big part of it, is the shift from understanding everything we're doing here is not just here about this life, but it's also about the next. And we can take that so lightly. But when you're in a group of people, as I am, when I'm as part of Islamically Inspired Therapeutics, when you have a group of people who genuinely care about their well-being in this life and the next, it changes everything. It changes how you conduct yourself. It changes how cautious you are about what you say. But when I say cautious, I don't mean, oh, that means you hold back everything. I mean how you train yourself to say what you're going to say in the best way.
Mm. So you don't have any regrets for yourself as well, isn't it? Because
do I have regrets? Is that what you said?
No. So you don't have any regrets for yourself on your day of judgment as well. In a sense, it's all coming back to you as a therapist, isn't it? It's all starts with you.
It really does.
And it will end up with you.
We hope that the good work or the good nasiha that we give to the people that we work with will be a benefit to us in this life and the next. And that's why we have to work and try to work in excellence.
Mm. So look, Summaya, when you've joined Islamically Inspired Therapeutics, it wasn't even a case, wasn't it? It wasn't even a dream. It wasn't even a plan for you to become a coach, a counselor, a healer. It wasn't even a thing, wasn't it? You just knew you have to join. You just knew you have to be part of it.
Yeah.
So how did it happen? You've ended up to be my ambassador, my pride.
Actually, that really is what happened. I just knew I had to join. I knew I couldn't afford it. I knew I didn't have the time for it. But I knew that the amount that I had grown already, and I didn't want to stagnate and let go of everything I'd learned. I wanted to build on it. And so, I mean, through Islamically Inspired Therapeutics, I've learned so many things that I just wouldn't have got anywhere else. And so I started thinking about my business plan, how I was using my time. And when we had to do that task, I kind of forced myself to do it. I didn't really believe in it at the time. But I told myself that I trust you, and I trust that you're asking me to do it for a reason. And I did it. And, you know, just a couple of months later, I realized, oh, that's why Allah placed me there. Because, you know, now I'm a parent coach and I do have a business. And it was because I had already done all of the thinking with regards to my business plan and how many hours I wanted to work and who my clients would be and what my niche was. I'd done all that already, not knowing that I was actually going to do it. Aside from that, the detox. You posted something, didn't you, a day or two ago?
Yeah,
about
I think I did. Yeah. How are you planning? Yeah, how are you planning to change if you're still eating the same?
It's just changed my life. My relationship with food has just completely and utterly changed, and now I fully believe that all the therapeutic work that we do, in the end, it leads back to food.
Same here, and I'm so surprised that nutritional counseling or even go smaller, detoxing, right, is not part of the curriculum for counselors or psychotherapists. I'm just got smacked. It's such an important aspect, isn't it? How else you want to meet yourself? How else you want to meet your shadow self? Something that we know in Islamic psychology is called diseases of the heart, and jihadul nafs. How on else are you going to do it on a regular basis? How?
Yeah, but the thing is,
how?
when you don't know, you just cannot understand. But now I know that if I have the wrong food getting in the way, how in God's name am I going to access what my soul is saying or what Allah wants from me when I've got so much trash inside of my body blocking my sense? And I'm sure people who are listening, it may not make any sense to you at all. However, once you've eaten clean, once you've taken the step, just the steps, because it doesn't happen overnight. It's an ongoing journey for a very, very, very long time. You can't go back.
No.
Sometimes I want to go back. I want to go back to eating the way I used to eat, and I do sometimes. And I still regretted those days. I'm like, why did I do that?
It's strange what happens to you when you go through spiritual tahara and you combine it with somatic tahara, and that's what we're on about, isn't it? Keeping your mind and body and soul clean. Yeah, that's what we do in our community. It's strange things that happen. I mean, I walk through streets at times. I'm not saying that every day it happens, but I walk through streets sometimes and I know what people are suffering with. This knowledge just comes to me. I can connect with them instantly like this. And I am 100% sure it is only because I'm doing this holistic tahara. Have you seen any difference in your therapeutic work based on this practice?
Yeah, probably.
Do you think you can connect with people better than you would ever before?
Oh God, yeah. Because and I cannot counsel or coach without being clean internally and externally. And the days I do, it's just not the same.
Yeah.
My connection with the person in front of me is not the same.
Yeah. Look, Summaya, it's such a pleasure to have you here. I could continue this meeting forever because I love those stuff. I do. And I'd love for you to have the courage to come up here and talk about your experience. Do you think we missed out on anything? Do you think you want to leave something, say something out there for others? Do you think we've done some injustice to the subject, or do you think we exhausted the topic?
I think perhaps I'd just add that despite the challenges, I wouldn't turn the clock back.
Yeah. This is your home now, isn't it? Being a healer.
Inshallah.
So I'm looking forward to more webinars together, or maybe more webinars just by yourself in our community, inshallah. We never know what the future will bring, inshallah. But thank you so much. It was an honor. It was fun as well. I've got plenty out of it as well myself. And for all of you who are watching YouTube, don't forget to subscribe to ajstherapy.com YouTube channel for more videos like this.